Right, now the headlines. The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, says it does not have the resources for disaster relief as the annual flooding season begins. National Coordinator Eric Nanajiman Prempeh told the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament this is because NADMO is saddled with a 34 million cedi debt and 28 court suits over debt incurred before 2017. Now, he says money released to them from the Finance Ministry this year is being spent on debt payment, leaving them with no resources to deal with disasters.
34 million, which as I sit here right now, I have about 28 court cases. So we've been paying the debt. Because of that, we do not get much money to buy relief items currently. As we sit here this year, we've not been able to buy anything, but we still own 2016 and even the little we were able to do in 2017. So these are some of the problems. But I would say we don't have enough resources.
Go and ask suppliers, and that will lead you to the issue about procurement.
Yes, yes.
Procurement problems.
Exactly so.
So the committee should recommend that we provide more resources for the agency, the NADMO.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
I think I wanted to come on the same issues, just to remind you, like my chairman said, that the rains have already started. And I wanted to know if you are adequately stocked for emergencies that are going to come. They are inevitable. We are seeing them. Are you adequately stocked now, or is still going to be firefighting?
Yeah, Honorable Chair, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. Any arrangement or any push by the committee to press for more resources to support NADMO will be welcome.
I'm sure the Finance Minister has heard us, so don't worry.
Now, the chairman of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, James Aveji, however, insists that NADMO should have enough resources to deal with flooding challenges.
It's not only NADMO that left debts. And it's
in this case, we're categorical that these debts were accrued before 2017.
Of course, yes. There were debts with all other institutions before 2017. Where there was debt with the government in totality before 2017. And the debt will continue to be there. So you cannot blame anybody. You understand? That not only NADMO is paying for previous debts, other institutions are paying for previous debts. Because debts are something that will continue to accrue. I think that is some of the mistakes that you, the journalists, are making. They made their point that anytime there's a release to them, portion of that must be used to pay current debts. And how much is the debt that they claim that have been accrued? 38 or 34? You have to look at the issues clearly before you come to a conclusion. The point that they are making is that they need more resources, okay, to be able to prepare for disasters. And as we said, the rainy season is just setting in. We know there are people who have already lost their lives. So people can be prepared for rain. People cannot dump refuse in the rain channels. That can prevent some flooding in a certain way. But when it's beyond certain things, they can't do anything about it. We don't hope that what happened in Malawi, Mozambique.
The Minister for the Interior, Ambrose Derry, is assuring that despite the financial challenges, adequate measures are being put in place to avoid more flooding and its associated debts.
It's going to be multifaceted. There are many aspects of the flooding. One is the technical engineering part, which will be dealt with by Works and Housing. Then for NADMO, we are dealing with the disaster part of it. Who are being affected? How can we ameliorate the effect of the flood on them? I believe that the Honourable Minister for Works and Housing has been telling the whole country about what efforts they are making. It's a regrettable situation. As for us at NADMO, today I almost didn't come here, but of course I had to come because statutory duty. I heard that a number of lives have been lost. And the first reaction that we should have taken is to go around to see what we can do. But of course we have to come and attend to this. With the Director General, we're going to see what we can do. I'm going to finance to see whether we are well suited to get these things done.
So for any Ghanaian who's worried that we may see more lives being lost even after the 7 that was lost today, they obviously have reason to be worried, don't they? Any assurance from them?
Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying. Is multi-sectoral. For instance, my brother who is at Works and Housing, they have to do something about the areas. Is dredging, whatever. You know, those are things that he has to do. And he's promised he will do that. I believe he will do that. But the education needs to be that when it's raining, we probably should not move if there's no need for us to move. For instance, the 4 people who lost their lives on the motorway, I was surprised that water will come on the motorway. That's freak. If I'm down low, I don't expect water there. So first we have to say that when there's rain these days, if you can help it, don't move out until the rain has subsided. Because there are things that are going to be flying. They can hit your windscreen and then you can get this surprise water coming across you and causing problems. That is what I'll ask for now.
Well, so still on the subject of the disaster, the Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapam says government has allocated some 197 million Ghana cedis to be used to desilt choke drains and also execute or undertake drainage works to minimize the impact of anticipated floods. Speaking during a briefing session between the Greater Accra Metropolitan Water and Sanitation Project and her ministry, she bemoaned the attitude of Ghanaians towards keeping the city clean and also warned authorities will not hesitate in dealing with persons who are caught disposing waste indiscriminately at unauthorized places.
Government of Ghana, I am boldly saying, it's on record, that money as much as 197 million cedis has been allocated and the contracts have been given out by the Ministry of Works and Housing. They are in charge of flood control. The works section of the ministry means hydrological works and services, and they are up to the task. We just had a meeting last Friday. They are going to add and drill down to desilting of our gutters. So when this is done, or when this is being done, we don't expect anybody, and I mean anybody, to drop anything in our gutters. I think we are all fed up with people pouring their household garbage and rubbish into drains and gutters. If you are caught, jail will be your lot. So people should desist from doing this.
And the project coordinator of the Gamma project, George Esiedu, stated that the silting of some 22 major drains in the capital will commence next week.
22 of them. This does not mean that that's the only thing we are working on. The Works and Housing is working on a lot of them, and then we are taking up only 22. And so these 22 drains, we are doing the silting and then dredging to open up to improve flow. And once we remove these solid waste that normally obstruct flow, we are hoping that with the onset of the drain, of the rain, flow will be improved, and then flooding will be reduced to the barest minimum.
Okay, so you'll be doing that before May, June?
In fact, we have awarded a contract, and we are hoping that contractors will start dredging from any moment within the next week. So this is for just 1 month. So within the 1 month, by middle of May, this should be done.
Now, the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, has called on parents to embrace ongoing reforms by the Ghana Education Service to enable them succeed in its implementation. In a speech read on his behalf by his deputy, Amidu Chinia Isahaku, Dr. bin Saleh noted the aim is to make education more responsive to the human resource needs of the country. Now, he gave the call at this year's Kalibi Festival at Sankana in the Nadoli Kaliu district. Rafiq Salam reports from Sankana.
The Ghana Education Service last week launched a new curriculum for basic schools in the country as part of ongoing reforms in the education sector. The new reforms, according to the Ghana Education Service, is to make education more responsive to the human resource and development needs of Ghana. Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, in a speech read on his behalf by his deputy Amidu Chinia Isaku at this year's Kalibi Festival, called on parents to embrace the reforms and support the government to succeed in its implementation.
The GES announced some changes made to the curricula of our basic schools. I want to call on all of us to embrace these reforms and support government to implement them to improve performance of our students and make them globally competitive. Mr. Chairman, key among these reforms is the emphasis on reading and arithmetic, and also introducing our children from the very beginning to the history of Ghana so that they can get a better understanding of where Ghana started and where we are today, so that going forward we can develop our country.
Dr. Hafiz bin Sali used the opportunity to urge the people to take the warning of the Meteorological Agency seriously, forecasting windy and rainy storms in the next couple of weeks.
It is important that we all take this warning very serious to avert any disasters. People living in low-lying areas are advised to move their families and properties to high grounds for safety. Municipal and district assemblies should take the necessary steps to warn their people so that we do not record any incident in the region come the rainy season.
Paramount Chief of Sankana Traditional Area, Napaniga Sakwe Mona III, appealed to the government to distill the Sankana Dam to make it irrigable for the people to do all year-round farming.
Having a second dam will not be a bad idea, but for now, Mr. Chairman, we thought that perhaps as our portion for the government's One Village, One Dam project, we will request for the immediate desilting of our existing dam and the repair of the canals and spillways to make it more useful to the people to engage in dry season gardening.
Member of Parliament for Tema East and Deputy Minister of Transport, Titus Niglova, and the Director General of the National Lotteries Authority, Kofi Osei Amiyo, were ensconced as development chiefs of the area. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Sankana.
Well, and in Kumasi, the Asantini Otumfose II is entreating central government to tap into the knowledge of chiefs to effect socio-economic change to better the lives of the citizenry. He says traditional rule has and also continues to play a dominant role in settling disputes to foster national unity. Otumfose II was addressing the Chancellor Week gathering organized by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology to mark his 20th anniversary of installment.
The Asante King urged chiefs to work closely with government to improve the lot of their people.
Chiefs of the Chieftaincy institution have since time immemorial to date been the seal of government within our various traditional localities. In our own small ways, we assist our people to settle their disputes. We educate them on the proper interpretation and application of our customary laws and practices. And most importantly, we assist them to improve on their socio-economic lives. Due to this first-hand relationship that exists between chiefs and the people, we are very much abreast with the needs and aspirations of the masses in Ghana. This knowledge, I believe, is a great tool that can be employed to assist central government to fashion out the right policies and strategies for the betterment of our nation. It is essentially a wake-up call on traditional rulers all over Ghana to work with government as modes of continuity to improve the socio-economic impact and livelihood of the people within the communities and Ghana as a whole.
The Chancellor Week is under the theme Promoting Culture, Innovation and Technology, 20 years of Otumfo's dynamism. Professor Kwesi Obridanso is Vice Chancellor.
Throughout this week, we're encouraged to showcase our culture by wearing what I'm wearing. We're encouraged. I also want to urge my friends from far and near to take time off their busy schedules to pass through the various stands and also to whet their appetite with some of the things that they've never had the opportunity of seeing will be on display. The only thing that is not here is the golden stool, but you will see pictures of it, and that should be enough.
Reporter for JoyNews, Deborah.
And that's it for the headlines. Of course, we're bringing you the newspapers in just a moment, right after these.